very close to representing Jamaica. I think they're just sorting out the passport. I work closely with some of the high ups, but and from what I know, it's probably that's the closest out of all the names I mentioned. I think that's the closest.
Breaking news: Reiss Nelson on the verge of representing Jamaica. Make we see what going on, man.
Mirror 7.
Welcome to Premiere 7. I am your host, Reiss Nelson. I hope that you all have heard or seen what was posted before I did my small introduction that Reiss Nelson is on the verge of coming or representing Jamaica. And if you haven't heard it at the first point, let's listen to what Cecil, the Arsenal fan of Arsenal Fan TV, has said.
Very close to representing Jamaica. I think they're just sorting out the passport. I work closely with some of the high ups, but and from what I know, it's probably that's the closest out of all the names I mentioned. I think that's the closest.
All right, so that is what he has mentioned. And whenever we are hearing about trending or breaking news, we have to be on board to at least shed some lights on what is taking place. He mentioned all the names that he have mentioned before, and those names take into consideration players who are from the Premier League who are now representing Jamaica are inclusive of, let me give you just two names, Michael Antonio and Bobby Reed. And that is the reason why the topic is all about breaking news: Reiss Nelson on the verge of representing Jamaica. It is not concrete to say that he will come to Jamaica, but it is very close that this guy is in that pipeline of, changing or switching his allegiance to Jamaica. The thing is, this youngster is a very impactful footballer, and if you watch how much he plays for Arsenal, you can see that this guy needs to have a lot more game time. This guy is so technical, you are even wondering why is it that he's not utilized more to give players like Saka and even Martinelli a break. Because the thing is, Reiss Nelson can play on both wings, left wing and right wing. And within this special video, it is very important to note that I want to dive into some important details on this wonderful player. I want to speak about his impact that he could possibly have on the Jamaica national team, and a little bit on his background, and what does this mean for Jamaica. So let's look on his impact that he can have on the Jamaica national team. So we should know that the Jamaica national team is in the semi-final of the CONCACAF Nations League, and they're going to be playing against the United States next here, very close, right around the corner. And Jamaica has been looking to get players potentially to represent the nation in this major competition, and thereafter the Copa America follows. We all want to see players who are of good quality, of good sort, who can blend into the formation that Al Grimson would like to play and have a massive impact that will not only look good on paper or just to play a one game, but to really and truly be on a continuous basis when we have players integrated into a squad. So, looking on this pictorial representation, this is the Jamaica formation, and I go for a 4-2-3-1 with two holding midfielders in Latibodier and Palmer. The backline speaks for itself. Now, the main thing is all about this guy, Demari Gray and Leon Bailey, who are playing as wingers. Demari Gray is suspended against Canada, right? That means he will not be playing in that first leg against the United States. Leon Bailey is inconsistent for Jamaica, but even though he's passionate, we're seeing that his true potential is showing up in the Aston Villa shirt. And the thing is, we don't want for a players to burn out, so we would love to have other players being recruited. I made mentions of Mason Greenwood on several occasions that he could come in and even play on this side that Len Bailey is playing. He can even play as a striker where Nicholson is playing, or even on this side where Gray is playing. But the focus is on Reiss Nelson, not Ryan Nelson, but Reiss Nelson. He's a player who can be a super sub. He's a player that can start if we don't even have a Demar Gray. Reiss Nelson, if you are an Arsenal fan, you would realize that he's a technically driven player who can score goals in crucial moments. You have a Reiss Nelson in your side, you can expect the passion, you can expect the forward playing, you can expect the technicality. For example, this guy, Reed, received the ball from Palmer, right? He goes over to this side. Nelson is technical, he gets the ball, and he's a player who likes to dribble on the inside. You would just shift Nicholson out of the way, basically, making a run in that case, and he can shoot because he's good with his right foot. He's a technical person, may not be scoring a lot of goals in the Premier League because of limited opportunity, but when you have a player like Nelson being a backup or a starter for Gray, if Gray is injured or unavailable, then you can get something extra. On this side, he plays on the right hand side, and I'm going to show you um, his details as well about the transfer market to prove that he is that player who can play on both sides. Bailey could be injured, Bailey could be suspended, and you have the depth in terms of Reiss Nelson. There's no guarantee that Mason Greenwood would come to Jamaica. He's attracting a lot of persons or a lot of clubs, for example, Barcelona. I'm not sure if he will be going back to Manchester United, and his name is a hot topic. But to have a Reiss Nelson in the Jamaica setup would be easier because the thing is, this guy will have less attention in terms of the media propagandering or throwing out his name out there to even remind persons that he was this or he was that. That is not the case of Reiss Nelson. And I wanted to show you something in regards to Reiss Nelson's background because I was speaking about that earlier on as to how I'm going to go about in approaching the video. Persons would be saying that Reiss Nelson could have been representing Zimbabwe. And if you never know that that occurred, then Premier 7 have the details to show right now. So looking on this is the information on Reiss Nelson. So he said that I am actually from Jamaica. My mom is from Jamaica. Reiss Nelson's statement is likely to put an end to the lingering hopes of him representing Zimbabwe and wearing the gold and green warrior stripes. Despite being eligible to play for the African nation, he has clarified that his heritage lies elsewhere, reaffirming his Jamaican roots. That is something for which many persons don't know, because there are many persons speaking about Reiss Nelson being Jamaican, but some persons didn't know that Reiss Nelson had to even clear the air to say that he is going to represent, or let's not say that, but he would prefer to play for Jamaica, reaffirming that his mother is a Jamaican. You have other persons who are from Africa basically, but he have that chance or opportunity to represent Jamaica, the land we love. Now, I mentioned that I want to speak about Reiss Nelson in regards to the transfer market information and to let you know by way of proof that this guy can represent Jamaica on either wing, the left wing and the right wing. Right? So basically, let me just show you the details right off the bat. So, Reiss Nelson here. For Arsenal, he is, let me give you his basic information soon, but let me just show you the information here in regards to his tenure at Arsenal. He has been at Arsenal for more than 4 years, 41 appearances in the Premier League, 4 goals, 2 assists. Now, many persons will be saying, this guy isn't good, this guy is just a waste of time based on statistical representation. The thing is, if you understand football, you should look even more into how the player can have an impact, contribute to the team defensively, attacking, and to the overall shape. I mentioned that he's a left winger. Right here is a left winger. Right here is a right winger. He's even a right midfielder. For Arsenal, he plays more so on the right hand side. But for Jamaica, because he's right footed, he can play even more on the left hand side. But if he is that person for which Al Grims wants to play on the right hand side based on the Arsenal setup, fine. But I saw where he scored goals from the left hand side. So the thing is, remember the key word about this guy is because he's technically driven, he can score with either legs, but he's mainly dominant as a right foot player. Right? And in that case, you can have him rotated in the Jamaican squad to have that dynamics in terms of team selection, in terms of player position. Because sometimes if the coach wants to play even a 4-4-2, then you can even drop him in a right midfield position. Whereas you can place Leon Bell up front alongside Shamar Nicholson. So there and then the balance would be there. And I would love to see this guy coming in and representing Jamaica. And I hope that you're getting what I'm saying here because it proves that not because a player can play on the left wing or on the right wing, positions can change and he can contribute to Jamaica in terms of the position and chemistry by playing as a right midfield player. So, I mean, there's a lot to say in regards to the player, but I just want to just show you that it is not all about the main position. Sometimes a player can play in different positions, and that can really and truly have that impact on the team. And in that sense, I would like for you to have your say on the channel, drop your comment, subscribe if you can, share the link, and have that time to interact with myself here on the channel. So, just a basic thing here about Reiss Nelson. If you never know, he's 24 years of age. He's a right winger, just to confirm again, and he's a London player. Was born in England, but his mommy is a Jamaican. So he can really and truly play for Jamaica. And that is the reason why Jamaica is scouting him. And that is the reason why Cecil mentioned that he's very close. Price tag 12 million euros. But forget about the price tag. We're speaking about his importance in coming and representing Jamaica. So with that out of the way, I wanted to speak about this last point. What does Reiss Nelson's impact would mean to Jamaica football? It is a simply explained or a simple way of explaining what impact would he have on Jamaica. The thing is, Reiss Nelson already can play for Jamaica, which is a tick. Reiss Nelson have international experience. Let me not say international experience. He have the club experience on the highest level within the top 5 clubs in the Premier League, in the top 5 competitions in Europe, in Arsenal. He knows how to play under pressure. He knows how to have an impact on games that needs somebody to strike the matches or to strike the rock and score that goal. So the impact that this guy can have on Jamaica is that he can basically improve the system for Jamaica in the sense of which you would have already players such as Mikel Antonio, Bobby Reid, possibly Mason Greenwood could come in, Tarek Mitchell. Basically, what I'm saying here is that with his impact in Jamaica, if he even come across to represent the nation, it can open more doors for other persons to even change their mind and want to speed up the process in coming to represent Jamaica. I mentioned that Leon Bailey is Jamaica's main player because Leon Bailey is that type of guy who is waving the banner for Jamaica high. And when you have other players coming over to represent Jamaica, you will have a better mixture of local and international base players who can come and make things easier for the nation. So, in that sense, having a Reiss Nelson in the Jamaica setup would be so effective, not only in the sense that he can play in both positions in different formation as well, but also for the brand of Jamaica football. And in that sense, I believe that this guy should and Jamaica should, JSF should try their best to get this guy. So Cecil mentioned that the passport, he mentioned that he is, Reiss Nelson is closer than close to come to Jamaica, but we don't want to say it has already happened. But you don't know when the news is out there. We have to share the details. So it is now my time to go, but I just want to reiterate that the topic is all about the breaking news. Reiss Nelson on the verge of representing Jamaica. Jamaica is going to play in the CONCACAF Nations League semi-final against the United States. Is it possible to have Reiss Nelson coming over? If not, Copa America is right next door. All right, after that competition concludes. I mentioned that what potential impact can he have on the Jamaica men's national team? I gave you some information about his background. He could play for Zimbabwe, but he declared that he would prefer to play for other country, seeing that his mommy is from Jamaica, right? So he can play for Jamaica. That is the reason why Jamaica is trying their best to get him. And if they're trying their best, then they should get him. And I even show you how he can even play in the Jamaica system also. I show you details in regards to his profile, and then I close to say what does Reiss Nelson impact would mean to Jamaica football. So it is now my time to go. It is your time to have your say. So thank you for tuning in, and we will always have a chance to speak again. Take care and goodbye for now.